Welcome to the next match summary on our channel. We bring you the next second round match of the Forbidden Star World Championships 2023 edition between Farau and Common Clown aka Egoist. You can see the full transcript of the match on Hethalos aka Zen Yan channel. See the information in the description. The webcast is hosted for you by your virtual commentators Benton
and Nolan. The most important information to start with. The banned races in this match are Eldars and Taui. Common Clown is the second player. He will be playing the Tyranids. Farau is the first player, will be manning the Orks, and he is the only one who has a tile on which there is a planet with 3 resources. We are getting started.
The first tile from the Orks, with 2 planets. The first with 1 resource and asset token on which the objective token and Orc Boy is placed. The second planet, 1 resource and an reinforcement token.
Map tile from Nids. 2 planet system. The first with a 1 resource and reinforcement token. This is where the gaunt goes. The second with 1 resource and cash token on which the bastion and objective token are landed. And we have no land bridge here between the planets.
Farau lays out the home system tile. The side with the reinforcement and cash token. On the planet with no tokens, the objective and the factory are placed. On the planet with reinforcement, we have the objective and Orc Boy. On the third planet with cash token, we have also Orc Boy. We also have a land bridge to the planet with bastion and the Orc objective.
Home system from the Tyranids. A side with cash and forged tokens. On planets with forged token, lands factory and objective. On a void, close to its target, a hive ship docks. In second void, we have Devourer. On second planet, we have Gaunt.
Orcs gold mines tile, next to home system. Planets close to those in the neighboring system. On a mine, Orc Boy is landed. On planet with asset token, we have Knob.
Last tile from Tyranids. A side with reinforcement and forged tokens. On planets with 2 resources and reinforcement token, we have Gaunt. Just the warp storms and we're starting.
Egoist cuts off the Orcs home system from below, and Farau, after a moment's consideration, also cuts off the Tyranid home system from the neighboring tile with their objective.
The Orcs place their order on a home system with a factory, and then a Nids also at home. Orcs throw the order into the system with gold mine. Tyranids put the order into the system with a bastion. I don't think it is anything other than domination. Orcs blocking this order. Something that goes on top of the event cards, or maybe a move. The Tyranid order lands in its central sector. Farau's last order blocks another Nida order in the central sector. Common Clown, on the other hand, lays his last order on the sector with the Orc gold mine, blocking the Orcs.
Orcs play the strategized order in their home system. They buy the advanced order upgrade Orc Rocks. This is the only order upgrade in the game with a command requirement of 0. They then exchange the Gretchen card for Biker Knobs. This card gives you a nice amount of attack, but also likely shifts your opponent's dice through the forced re-roll mechanic.
If of course you don't count the orbital strike requirements. The Tyranids reveal a deployment order in their home system. 1 Gaunt lands on a planet with a factory, the other on a planet with a cash token. 1 Devourer then joins an identical one in the void.
The advance order from Farau. Knob moved to an empty planet in the central Tyranid sector. Orcs prepare to attack the bastion. An advance order also from Clown in the same system. He moves the hive ship to 1 void and the Devourer to the other. Then he sends 3 Gaunts from home system and 1 from active system to the planet with Knob. The fight begins.
Exactly 4 dice versus 2. 2 bolters and 2 shields for Clown, bolter and morale for Farau. Both players throw in a reinforcement token, a card from the Tyranids' Reign of Spores, a card providing a warrior 2 dice and a shield for the cost of losing 1 Devourer. They now have 3 bolters and 3 shields in the dice pool. From Farau we have Shooter Boys providing 2 bolters and a support token counted as Orc Boy forces the reroll of 1 shield dice from the Nids dice pool. Dice roll turns shields into morale.
Once the damage has been counted, Knob is rotated and we begin the next round of combat. Clown plays Genstealer hybrids and forces his opponent to lose a bolter die and gets 1 himself. Farau plays Slugga Boys. Everyone rolls a morale die, everyone gains a bolter, and Knob stands up. Then reinforcement Orc Boy is destroyed and Knob is rotated again, and Nids loses a reinforcement token also. Next combat round.
Last round of the battle. Hive Tyrant from Clown. And then from Burrowing Organisms, we have Shield as an extra icon and our boys from Farau. He reroll bolter, but without success. The end of the battle, the Tyranids win.
The next advance order from Farau. An orc boy from a planet with a Tyranid target attacks a Gaunt from the central system. The next battle begins.
2 orc bolters to 1 Tyranid bolter. Odd boys card and we have reroll all bolters. Bolter and shield of orcs to 1 Tyranid's bolter. Hormagaunt brood card and Tyranids get a temporary shield. They destroy the Gaunt and get 3 temporary bolters. The battle ends, both units have been destroyed, the planet empties.
Egoist plays Domination and only collects cash tokens from the planet with Bastion. Taking advantage of the fact that none of the orc orders are visible, the Tyranids discover the advance order in the sector with the mine. The Hive ship moves into the void and 2 Gaunts and 1 warrior take over the vacant planet while simultaneously using bombardment and destroying the Farau unit on the planet with the mine.
Farau, after losing a unit on a planet with a mine, put back the order Domination on the event card pile. We move on to the refresh phase. Farau draws 2 cards, Mob Up and More Boys. He chooses Mob Up, what allows him to wait to reveal the order and perform the advance order in a system with 2 units. He also moves the Warp Storm, cutting off the Tyranids from possible support.
Clown uses the event card only to move the Warp Storm and moves it to the edge of the map. And the planning phase begins. Tyranids first. To start with an order in the home system, they have a sizable lead at the moment and do not want to lose momentum.
The Orcs lay their first order in the system with the Nids Bastion.
Common Clown put the another order in the system next to his home system, probably advance to take over the objective.
Orcs now order in the home system.
Tyranids block the Orc order in the system with the Bastion.
The Orcs place an order in the system with the mine. Could it be that they want to reoccupy it before the Egoist forces land there?
The Tyranid order lands in the Orc home system. They would have liked to get closer to their target.
A quick block on this order by the Orcs.
We are starting the operations phase. The Tyranids reveal the strategized order in the system with a Bastion. They drop the Hormagaunt brood and gain the Thermagant brood.
Orcs play the deploy order in the home system. They recruit an Orc boy and build the Bastion.
The Tyranids, on the other hand, follow the same order in their home system, buying 2 Gaunts.
Farau decides on a preemptive attack in a system with a mine. 3 Orc boys versus 2 Gaunts and 1 Tyranid warrior. 6-5 in the bone for the Orcs. 3 bolters, 2 shields and morale versus 2 bolters, 1 shield and 2 morale. Can the Tyranids withstand the onslaught of Orcs? Card from Orcs, biker knobs. Clown reroll 2 bolters and otters, the worst result for him at the moment. 2 morale. He plays a Termagant brood, gets a support token, and 3 temporary bolters. This card is amazing. No wonder its text will be corrected.
Yes, indeed. Tyranid losses include 2 Gaunts and a routed warrior, but they gain 3 temporary shields from Termagant brood. Orcs must route 1 unit. Next cards in play, Mech Boys from Orcs extra die and icons from the opponent's card, Bolter die and shield in this case. Genestealer hybrids from Nids. The Orcs lose the Bolter die they just gained. Nice defense of the Egoist. A round with no losses on either side.
Another Mech Boys from Orcs. Extra die and icons from the opponent's card, shield die and bolter in this case. Tyranids play burrowing organisms. This results in losing the fight but keeping the warrior. The Orcs can take a breath for a while.
The Tyranids play the advance order in the sector next to the home system with their objective. They throw the Devourer and Gaunt there.
Farau uses the Scheme Mob Up card, a very good play. It allows him to drop the Orc boy onto a planet with a mine and at the same time automatically eliminate the rooted Nid warrior.
The advance order from the Orc home system lands on the Tyranids event card pile.
It's Dominate played by the Orcs in the home system. They pick up a cash token, which they spend immediately using the Orcs ability to purchase an Orc boy, which lands on a planet with a Bastion.
Another Orc order and the last for this round. Advance in the sector with the Tyranid Bastion. A brave attempt to take over a planet with 1 Orc boy.
I agree, it will be difficult, especially after the dice roll. 2 shields for the Orcs, shield and morale for Tyranids, Mech Boys from Farau, the extra die is a bolter. he would probably prefer morale. From the opponent's card, he gets Bolter. Egoists play burrowing organisms and takes the reinforcement token.
Further cards. Biker Knobs from Farau, change of plan for destruction. Egoist plays Termagant Brood, gets another reinforcements token and 2 temporary bolters. No further breakthrough is seen. Last round of Hard Boys from Farau. Bolter rerolled to the bolter unfortunately. Clown throws in another burrowing organisms card and takes the reinforcement token. End of battle. Everything goes back to the way it was before. Very efficient planetary defense.
Except for the roted Orc, which, like the rest of the units, returns to a ready state at the end of this phase, which has just happened. May 6/6 in materials.
Rapid mutation which the Tyranids choose. They get 2 Forge tokens, and the Warp Storm cuts off the Orcs from the system with a Bastion.
The Orcs draw a card to move the Warp Storm from the edge of the map back between the Tyranid home system and the system with their target. The Orcs start the next round with an order in their home system.
Clown also starts with an order in his home system.
Order in the system with a mine from Orcs.
Clown again, play an order in his home system.
Farau lays the order to the central system next to the one with Bastion. Is he trying to bypass the Warp Storm?
Clown plays the 3rd order to the home system. Possibly he wants to build up the strike force again.
Farau plays a 2nd order to the home system. He will not attack the Bastion this round.
Clown blocks the Orc order in the middle system, and we begin the next operations phase.
Deploy order in the Orc home system. The Orc boy lands on an empty planet with a Tyranid target, and then a city grows up there.
In the Tyranid home system, on the other hand, we have the dominant order. 2 cash tokens and 1 forge token have been taken.
The same order in the Orcs home system, a reinforcement token and a cash token, which immediately using the racial skill is exchanged for an Orc boy that lands on a planet with a Bastion.
Tyranid home system, we have the dominant order again. 2 cash tokens and 1 forge token again. Clown prepares to make a big purchase.
Dominate order in sector with mine. Cash token for Orcs. Knobs are bought this time.
Deploy order in Tyranid's home system. City is purchased on a planet without buildings. In addition, a warrior with the use of a forge token lands in the same place and 3 devourers fly into space.
The Tyranids immediately execute Advance's order in the central system. 2 devourers fly there, each to free space. The warrior from home system and the gaunt from active system are transferred to a planet with 2 resources. Clown rescues a gaunt unit from a possible Orc attack.
Now, Orcs execute Advance's order in the same system. All 3 units from the planet without resources land on an empty planet in the central sector next to the sector with the Bastion in Orc target.
End of phase. Farau draw a card to rearrange Warp Storm. It cuts off the central sector from the Tyranid home system.
Clown cuts off the Orcs home system from the system with mine. Unfortunately for him, the Orcs still have a route to the Bastion. The first order placed by the Tyranids in the system with their objective next to their home system. They want to finally secure the target.
Farau lays the order in the middle system with the Bastion. He must try to capture his objective as long as there are not too many enemy forces there.
The Tyranid order lands in the sector with the mine. It is possible that the Orcs, cut off from this sector, will not be able to defend the mine.
And the immediate blockade of this order by Farau.
1 more Tyranids order lands in the sector with the mine.
And 1 more blockade of this order by Farau.
Clown adds an order to the sector with his objective.
Orc order in the central sector next to the system with the Bastion, and we start with the operations phase.
Strategize order for Nids. Clown takes Warrior Brood and drops Genstealer hybrids. It also buys Deploy Order upgrade, breeding chambers which allow up to 2 units to be produced with the hive skip.
Strategize order also from Orcs in the central system. Farau takes the Green Tide, an order token upgrade, which gives them a wild order, then takes Wyatt and drops Mech Boys.
Tyranids execute advance order in the system with their objective next to their home system. They are moving Gaunt from a planet with a city to planet with objective.
Deploy order in the system with a mine, and on it, the Orcs build Bastion. It seems that the mine is finally solidly secured.
Clown play deploy order in the same system. With the new order upgrade and Hive's ship, he builds the warrior and Gaunt on an empty planet. There is quite a lot going on in this system, it has to be said.
Gold rush, certainly. Meanwhile, the Orcs fire the advance order in a system with the Tyranid Bastion. Into battle, they throw all 3 Orc boys from the home system. 2 bolter dice, 2 shield dice, and 2 morale dice against 1 bolter and 1 shield. Now, just to take over the Bastion without losses is the goal of the Orcs. They play the Ard boys, forcing reroll all the bolters. Good throws for the Orcs. 3 shields and 3 morale to 2 Tyranid shields. Thermagant Brood card from Nids. They receive a reinforcement token.
2 more cards. Farau plays the Waebre purchased this round. And Egoist also reveals a new card, Hive Tyrant. He shortens the battle by showing that he would have played 2 of these cards. And to them 2 Reign of Spores cards, which still would not have pierced the Orcs' defenses and balanced the morale count. As a formality, Farau plays 1 more card, YA. The battle ends with no losses for the Orcs. They take over the Bastion and secure their objective.
We are getting green on the map. Farau plays Strategize in the system with mine as there are no visible Egoist orders. It uses the Green Tide upgrade order and executes the advance order. Knobs and 2 Orc boys move to attack from the central system. 2 bolter dice, 2 shield dice, and 2 morale dice against 3 bolter dice and 1 morale die.
The Biker Knobs card, played by Farau, forces to reroll the opponent's bolter's dice. The Orcs get a temporary bolter, and the Tyranids end up with bolters, 2 shields, and morale. They play Warrior Brood, destroy the Gaunt, receiving 2 temporary shields, and reroll a bolter die with no result.
Another, the Biker Knobs card, played by Farau, who gets a temporary bolter again. Bolter reroll again with no result. Termagant Brood from Clown gets reinforcement token and temporary bolter. After counting up the damage, Clown routs the warrior and receives a temporary shield.
Next round, Farau plays the Wa'a and receives 2 temporary bolters, burrowing organisms from Common Clown, which no longer changes the outcome of the battle and thus ends it. The Orcs eliminate the Tyranid forces on this planet.
The last order from Clown, Advance, lands from the system with a mine on his event card pile. And we have the end of the operations phase. Clown draws and chooses a Brood Assets card and moves the Warp Storm to the central middle point of the map.
Farau pulls out Let's Get Fightin' and moves the Warp Storm to the edge of the map. He immediately uses this tactic card to set the Orc boy on a planet with his city and Tyranid objective.
Another round, and we start with the planning phase. Neither player seems to have gained enough of an advantage to break through the other's defense. Both players should probably focus on collecting planets. The Orcs throw the order into the middle system with a Bastion.
The Tyranids laid the order to the system with mine. Would it be a bluff?
The Orcs put an order in their home system.
The Tyranids also play their order in their home system.
And Orcs blockade Tyranids' order in the system with mine.
And 1 more order from Nids in their home system.
The last order from Orcs goes to a central system.
And the immediate blockade of this order by Clown.
Advance order in the central system with Bastion. The Orc boy lands on an empty planet.
Tyranid home system. We have the Dominate order. 2 cash tokens and 1 forged token.
Deploy order in the Orcs home system. Farau buys Onslaught, which docks in the Void and Orc boy, and Knobs, who end up on a planet with a city. Orcs entrench themselves in strategic positions.
Deploy order also in the Nids home system. Devourer and Hive ship on the Void, nice. And something bigger is also coming into play. We have Carnifex, a powerful unit, arrives on a planet with a city. Those forged tokens came in handy.
Strategize order from Orcs in the system with mine. Farau treats this order as an advance order, shifts the ship from the home system to the free void in the active system. It does not decide on any troop redeployment.
We'll see what comes of it. Meanwhile, after thinking about it for a while, Common Clown decides to use the Brood Nest scheme. The 2 Gaunts land 1 each on planets in the Tyranid home system.
Some major regrouping is in preparation. We have no visible Orcs orders, so Clown plays the order advance in the central sector with an empty planet. The Hive ship joins the Devourer Carnifex together with the Gaunts from the home system planet. Enter an empty planet in the active system. From the active system, Clown throws also a warrior there. It is going to be an interesting clash.
Indeed. And we have a preventive offensive movement by the Orcs to the system in which a large Tyranid force has landed. Farau transfers all the infantry from the system with the mine. The best defense is a good offense. We are about to find out.
Exactly, Benton. Let's see, all dice in use on both sides. Orcs, 5 bolters, 2 shields and morale. Tyranids, 3 bolters, 3 shields and 2 morale. Farau adds a reinforcement token to the fight. I'd say pretty good throws on both sides with the advantage going to the Orcs.
Yes, a little too many bolters for the Green Plague and not enough shields or bolters on the Nid side. Both players have dice rerolling abilities in their cards, but it will be hard to stop 5 bolters on start from the Orcs. This could be the battle that sets the tone for the entire game.
You may be right, but let's not overstate anything. We have the first cards in play. Orcs play shooter boys, useful at this point. In this case, Farau and Clown will have to re-roll all their shields. It's getting bloody. If the Tyranids are left without shields, they play burrowing organisms and decide to sacrifice 2 Gaunts in exchange for Bastion. After counting the damage, the Tyranids are left with only the warrior. Orcs lose a reinforcement token.
Another card from Orcs is Biker Knobs. Farau apparently does not want to lose any of the Orcs. Common Clown plays Warrior Brood to reroll 5 morale dice. He'd like to kill as many enemy units as possible before he gets off the planet. Nice throw, 5 bolters on the dice. Unfortunately, Orcs seem to be indestructible. All that has passed through the shield is enough to rout the Knobs. The Tyranid warrior falls. End of battle.
The Tyranids fire the advance order in a system with a mine. Hive ship attacks Onslaught ship 3-1 in the dice for the Tyranids, bolter, shield, and morale versus shield. Termagant brew counters on the table just for the icons. On the other side, we have Biker Knobs. Farau gets a temporary bolter and Clown, forced to re-roll a bolter, ends up with a bolter.
And I think he would have preferred a shield because the Hive ship gets routed. Another round of fighting.
Again, Termagant brewed counters on the table just for the icons, and what Aya has comes from the other side.
Card from Clown, Warrior Brood, and again Aya from Farau. Who would have thought the Hive ship had to accept the superiority of the onslaught and retreat into the void to the central sector? It should not be forgotten that this game has elements of randomness. An unfavorable throw of the dice can make it difficult or even lose the battle.
That's right, but back to the board, refresh phase. Neither player has put an order into the event card pile, so these cards at this point only serve to rearrange the Warp Storm. Farau separates the Tyranid home system and Common Clown repays the same. And we are going.
Tyranids place an order in their home system. They must rebuild quickly.
The Orcs place the order in the central system with the Bastion.
And the immediate blockade of this order by Clown.
The Orcs put an order in their home system.
After a moment's reflection, we have another Tyranids order in their home system.
The Orcs places the order in the system alongside Nid's home system.
Common Clown put his last order in the central system with Hive ship.
And the last Orcs order goes to central system with a Bastion.
Tyranid home system, we have the Dominate order, 2 cash tokens and 1 forge token again. The next advance order from Farau, 2 Orc boy attacks a Gaunt. The next battle begins. Farau plays Shooter Boys. We have 3 bolters and shield and 1 Tyranid bolter now. Aegis play burrowing organisms, but the battle is over. 1 Orc conquered the planet and Gaunt is killed.
Deploy order in the Nid's home system. 3 warriors landed on a planet with factory and 1 Gaunt on a planet with a city.
Orcs play strategize order in central sector with Bastion. Farau buys the Mega Knobs card and drops the Ard Boys.
Advance order in the central system with Orcs group. Clown throws all units from the active and home system into the fight against the Orcs. This will be a very important fight for him. If he does not win, he will not be able to rebuild strongly enough.
I thought so about the previous big fight. 3 warriors and 2 Gaunts versus 3 Orc boys and 1 Knobs. We have dice. 4 bolters, 2 shields, and 2 morals for Clown, and 6 bolters and 2 morals for Orks.
A slightly better situation than last time, but we'll see. Clown plays Termagant Brood and gets 2 temporary bolters. Of course, the Orks have reliable biker knobs, forcing through bolters and 1 bolter turns into a shield. It's distribution of damage, and on the Tyranid side, we are left with 2 warriors, one of which is routed. On the Orc side, we are left with 2 boys and a routed knobs.
Hard-hitting advantage in units for Orks, but Tyranids gain 4 temporary shields. Further cards. Hive Tyrant counters on the battlefield, and with it the bolter and shield icon from extra card. The warrior rises. Clown spends also morale, turning it into a bolter. Very nice play.
But we have biker knob again. A reroll and 2 bolters turn into morale and 1 into a shield. Nevertheless, a round for Clown. 1 Orc boy dies. Next round. Egoist play Burrowing Organisms, gain 2/2 temporary shields. Farau play Wire. He raises knobs and gets 1 temporary bolter. Warrior is killed. Knobs is routed.
We have a tie in morale, and thanks to that, the Orks win the battle. The warrior retreats to an empty planet in an active system.
Time to deploy order in the Orcs home system. Farau buys 2 Onslaught, which docks in the Void, and Orc Boy on a planet with a Bastion.
Advance order from Clown in the central system with Orc Bastion. The Hive ship flies there and does an orbital attack, unfortunately without success.
In the same system, the Orcs play Strategize Order. They use it as advance. On a planet with a Bastion, they move from the home system, 2 Orc Boys and 1 Knob. 2 Orc ships enter the Void with the Hive ship. We have another space battle.
Orcs have shield and morale. 2 bolters and morale for Tyranids. First cards on the table. Orcs play biker knobs. They get a temporary bolter, but the Tyranid reroll doesn't bring any change. Nids play Hive Tyrant. They draw a Warrior Brood card for the icons and exchange morale for a bolter.
Hive ship is routed now and Orcs lose 1 unit. Next cards. Mega Knobs that provides a temporary shield, and Egoist play Termagant Brood. They get a reinforcement token and thanks to that a temporary bolter. Now all units are routed up. Nids gale a temporary shield and we play another round.
Once again, Mega Knobs from Farau, and from Clown we have yet again Termagant Brood. Again they get the reinforcement token, and thanks to this they win on morale.
Common Clown draws a card to move the Warp Storm and protect the lower sector from the onslaught of Orcs. Farau pushes the storms back to the edge of the map. They immediately use the Tactics card and can supply 2 Orc boys to a planet with a knob in the middle system.
We are starting to set up orders. The first from Orcs lands in the middle system without a Bastion.
Now the Tyranids in the home system.
Orcs in the system with mine. They would probably want to occupy an empty planet.
Now the Tyranids in a separate system next to the home.
Orcs in the home system.
The Tyranids lay the order in the system with mine.
Orcs blocks this order.
And the last order from the Tyranids lands on the Orc home system.
Getting started. Orc advance in a system with a mine. There goes a lone Orc boy from the home system. It occupies an empty planet.
Dominate order in the lower Tyranid system. They take a reinforcement and cash token.
Strategize order from Farau in middle system without Bastion. He drops Slugga boys and buys Sea of Green. Solid card.
The order from Clown in the system with mine. A Hive ship from the active and a Devourer from the central system attack a single onslaught attack ship. 2 bolters and 2 shields from the Nids to 1 Orc morale.
Termagant Brood from the Nids gives them an extra temporary bolter. Sea of Green from the Orcs giving them a reinforcement token which then drops after taking damage.
From Nido we have again Termagant Brood and again a temporary bolter. And from the Orcs Mega Knobs, a temporary shield, and Clown must re-roll all shields that become bolters, and this results in the battle ending and the Tyranids winning.
Another skirmish won by Clown. Now deploy order from Farau, who builds a city in the system with a mine.
Advance order in a Orcs home system. Clown sends a Hive ship and a Devourer from the system with the mine and attack a single onslaught ship.
3 Tyranid bolters and 1 Orc bolter. Egoist play Termagant Brood and again a temporary bolter and Sea of Green from the Orcs, giving them a reinforcement token which then drops after taking damage.
Only the Hive ship is not routed and the Tyranids get a temporary shield. Next cards. Warrior Brood. Nids flip morale to Bolter and Farau play shooter boys. The Orc unit dies, both Nid ships are routed but win the battle.
Orcs in the home system have the strategize order. However, before it is played, there is an exchange of views regarding the possibilities in the next round of both players, the number of planets, and the chance to get the Nid's objective and the surrender of the match by Common Clown. Farau wins. Congratulations, thank you for watching, and we will see you in future videos. From our virtual studio, they commented for you.
Nolan and
Binton. See you next time.